On February 24th, 2022, everyone was shocked. Russia invaded Ukraine, big cities were bombed, families hid in shelters. This wasn't a small fight, it was a big war. We saw burned buildings, people leaving their homes, and regular Ukrainians fighting back. Everyone knew this was a big moment in history. Many people died quickly, thousands were hurt. Lots of people had to leave their homes and go to other countries. Countries around the world said the invasion was wrong. To understand this fight, we need to delve deep into the rich and complex history that binds Ukraine and Russia together. Their shared past is filled with moments of unity and conflict, cooperation and rivalry. The roots of their relationship stretch back over 1,000 years, to the time of the Kievan Rus, a powerful federation of Slavic tribes. Both nations emerged from this early medieval state, sharing a common Slavic heritage and Orthodox Christian faith. The cultural and religious ties forged during this period have left an indelible mark on both societies. Geographically, Ukraine's position has always been significant. Nestled between Russia to the east and Europe to the west, it has been a crossroads of cultures, ideas and power struggles. This unique location has made Ukraine a melting pot of influences, from the Byzantine Empire to the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and later the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Each of these influences has contributed to the rich tapestry of Ukrainian culture. Despite these shared roots and influences, Ukraine and Russia have also developed distinct identities. Over the centuries, Ukraine has cultivated its own language, traditions and national consciousness, often in the face of external pressures. Ukrainian culture is vibrant and diverse, with a strong sense of national pride. Folk dances, traditional music and colourful festivals are just a few expressions of this rich cultural heritage. The desire for independence has been a recurring theme in Ukrainian history. From the Cossack uprisings in the 17th century to the Declaration of Independence in 1991, Ukraine has continually sought to assert its sovereignty. Understanding this historical context is crucial to comprehending the current conflict. The war is not just a geopolitical struggle, it's a continuation of centuries-old tensions and aspirations for self-determination. Today, Ukraine stands as a testament to resilience and the enduring spirit of its people. As we explore the ongoing conflict, we must remember the deep historical roots that have shaped the identities and destinies of both Ukraine and Russia. The 1900s were hard. Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union. During this time, Stalin caused a famine called the Holodomor, which killed millions of Ukrainians. This was a terrible time that Ukrainians still remember. When the Soviet Union ended in 1991, Ukraine became independent. People voted to be free, but because some people in eastern Ukraine spoke Russian, Russia still had some influence. Russia used this to cause problems later. Ukraine's path to democracy wasn't easy. The journey was filled with numerous challenges and obstacles that tested the resilience and determination of the Ukrainian people. From political turmoil to external pressures, the road to a democratic society was anything but straightforward. In 2004, a dishonest election caused the Orange Revolution. The election was marred by widespread allegations of corruption, voter intimidation, and electoral fraud. This led to a massive public outcry, with thousands of Ukrainians taking to the streets to demand justice and transparency. The Orange Revolution was a pivotal moment in Ukraine's history, as it marked the first time that the people collectively stood up against a corrupt regime. People protested and made the government change the election results. The sheer scale of the protests was unprecedented, with millions of Ukrainians participating in demonstrations across the country. The government had no choice but to concede to the demands of the people, leading to a rerun of the presidential election, which was eventually won by the opposition candidate Viktor Yushchenko. This victory was seen as a triumph for democracy and the rule of law in Ukraine. This showed that Ukrainians wanted democracy and didn't want Russia to interfere. The Orange Revolution was not just about changing the government, it was about asserting Ukraine's sovereignty and independence. The people of Ukraine made it clear that they wanted to chart their own course, free from external influence, particularly from Russia. This desire for self-determination was a powerful driving force behind the revolution. The Orange Revolution was good for democracy, but it made Russia and Ukraine's relationship worse. The revolution strained the already tense relations between the two countries. Russia viewed the rise of a pro-Western government in Ukraine as a direct threat to its influence in the region. This led to a series of retaliatory actions by Russia aimed at undermining the new Ukrainian government and destabilizing the country. Russia saw the new pro-Western government as a threat and started using different ways to cause trouble for Ukraine, like hurting its economy, spreading false information, and engaging in cyber warfare. The Russian government employed a range of tactics to weaken Ukraine, including economic sanctions, energy blockades, and disinformation campaigns. These actions were designed to create internal divisions within Ukraine and erode public support for the new government, and supporting pro-Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine. The situation escalated into a full-blown conflict, with pro-Russian separatists declaring independence in several regions of eastern Ukraine. This led to a prolonged and bloody conflict that has claimed thousands of lives and displaced many more. The ongoing war in eastern Ukraine remains a significant challenge for the country as it continues to strive for peace, stability, and democratic governance. In 2014, Russia invaded Crimea, a part of Ukraine with many Russian speakers, and took it for themselves. Other countries said this was wrong, but it made Putin feel powerful. It also showed what was coming 8 years later. Crimea was a big change. It showed that Putin would use his army to get what he wanted, even if it broke the rules. Other countries tried to punish Russia, but it didn't stop them. This made a bigger war more likely. After taking Crimea, Russia caused trouble in the Donbas area of eastern Ukraine. Russian-supported separatists started a war that killed many people over 8 years. The war in Donbas was a tough fight with lots of shelling and people getting hurt. Neither side could win, but the fighting never really stopped, and the possibility of a bigger war was always there. Before the 2022 invasion, Russia put many soldiers near Ukraine's borders. Even though Russia said they weren't going to invade, everyone was worried. Countries tried to talk to each other to stop the war, but it didn't work. On February 24, 2022, Russian tanks entered Ukraine. Many countries said this was wrong and punished Russia by hurting its banks, oil, and rich people. Other countries sent weapons to Ukraine to help them fight. The invasion of Ukraine changed things a lot. It ended the peace in Europe that had lasted since the end of the Cold War. It also made countries rethink their safety. NATO made its defenses stronger, and some countries like Finland and Sweden joined NATO. The war is terrible for both countries. Lots of Ukrainians had to leave their homes, and many have died. The war also hurt Russia's economy and made other countries not want to be friends with them. As of December 2024, the war in Ukraine is still going on. The conflict, which began in 2014, has seen numerous escalations and periods of intense fighting. Despite various attempts at ceasefires and peace talks, the situation remains volatile. The impact on the civilian population has been devastating, with millions displaced and countless lives lost. The infrastructure of many cities lies in ruins, and the economy is in shambles. The resilience of the Ukrainian people, however, continues to shine through the darkness. They have shown incredible strength and determination in the face of adversity, refusing to give up on their homeland. No one knows how it will end, but one thing is for sure: the world has changed. The international community has been deeply affected by the conflict, with global leaders frequently meeting to discuss the situation and potential solutions. Sanctions, diplomatic efforts, and humanitarian aid have all been part of the global response. The war has highlighted the importance of international cooperation and the need for a united front in the face of aggression. It has also underscored the fragility of peace and the constant vigilance required to maintain it. The war shows us that peace is important and that countries need to work together. Peace rallies around the world have called for an end to the violence, and diplomats have worked tirelessly to broker agreements. The images of people holding peace signs and coming together in solidarity are a powerful reminder of our shared humanity. These efforts, though often overshadowed by the conflict, are crucial in building a foundation for lasting peace. The war in Ukraine serves as a stark reminder that peace is not just the absence of war, but a continuous effort that requires the participation and commitment of all nations. The war in Ukraine reminds us that freedom is important. The sight of the Ukrainian flag flying over the ruins of once thriving cities is a poignant symbol of the nation's resilience and determination. Protesters waving flags and people standing in solidarity with Ukraine around the world highlight the universal desire for freedom and self-determination. The struggle for freedom is a fundamental human right, and the war in Ukraine has brought this into sharp focus. It is a reminder that freedom must be defended and cherished, even in the face of overwhelming odds. We must protect it, even if it's hard. The images of Ukrainian soldiers in trenches, civilians supporting troops, and war-torn neighborhoods with resilient residents are a testament to the enduring spirit of the Ukrainian people. They have faced unimaginable hardships, yet their resolve remains unbroken. Protecting freedom is never easy, and the sacrifices made by those on the front lines are a stark reminder of the cost of liberty. The support of civilians, whether through providing supplies, shelter, or moral support, has been invaluable in sustaining the fight for freedom. Ukrainians have been very brave. The bravery of the Ukrainian people is evident in their daily actions. Civilians helping each other, soldiers receiving aid, and people rebuilding homes amidst the destruction are all acts of courage and resilience. These scenes of solidarity and mutual support are a powerful testament to the strength of the human spirit. The courage displayed by Ukrainians both on the battlefield and in their communities serves as an inspiration to the world. It is a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope and humanity can prevail. The world needs to keep helping Ukraine and support their fight for freedom and democracy. International aid has been crucial in providing relief to those affected by the war. World leaders expressing support and humanitarian efforts in Ukraine have played a significant role in alleviating some of the suffering. However, the need for continued assistance is paramount. The fight for freedom and democracy in Ukraine is not just a regional issue, but a global one. The international community must remain steadfast in its support, providing both humanitarian aid and political backing to ensure that Ukraine can emerge from this conflict stronger and more united. To learn more about the war, please read the news from sources you can trust. Staying informed is crucial in understanding the complexities of the conflict and the ongoing efforts to resolve it. Journalists reporting from the field, people reading newspapers, and news channels broadcasting updates play a vital role in keeping the world informed. It is important to seek out reliable sources of information to get an accurate picture of the situation. By staying informed, we can better understand the challenges faced by Ukraine and the importance of supporting their fight for freedom and democracy.